Well, welcome into Beyond Sunday. I'm your host, Luke, and I am joined by our Lady Lake campus pastor, Drew Cheyney. Drew, I appreciate you hopping on the podcast. And this is the first time that you've been on. We just had Chris on from Middleton.
Yep.
There is so much happening at every campus that it's just the perfect time for you to be able to talk about Lady Lake, where you guys are headed. It is a pivotal season for all campuses. And so it only felt right to get you on and felt like the perfect time. So
it is the perfect time, man. I
appreciate
it.
I appreciate you jumping on. So, Drew, I want to give people some background. You've been on staff now at the Springs for about how long now?
A little over a year and a half.
A little over a year and a half.
Man.
And you are well immersed in the Springs now, and and
sure,
and the Lady Lake campus specifically. And I want to talk before we get into Lady Lake specific and what you guys are doing and what God is doing there. I want to talk about your background in ministry. Kind of where were you before you came to Florida and made your trips to Disney? What were you and your family doing before that?
Boy, oh boy, Disney. That's funny. Yeah. Hey, so I've been in ministry now. We were doing the math last weekend when I was teaching at Lady Lake. 16 years.
Wow.
Which is crazy to think of because I'm not that old. But I started in student ministry for 11 of those years. The last 5 years I've been in campus ministry. In fact, before coming to the Springs, I was leading a campus a little bigger than the size that I'm at now, in fact, for 3 years. And so when looking at it now, it's kind of crazy because I always said these things. You probably said them too. As I said, I'll never be in ministry, and here I am, 16 years later as a pastor. Yeah. I said I'd never move to Florida, and we love living in Florida. We were joking about it the other day, my wife and I, is that it is so crazy how much we like life here, and we kept telling God we didn't want to come here, like in the sense of Florida. Yeah. And on this end, I'm like, thank God I didn't get what I wanted.
Right.
This was like getting the bonus, man.
Yes. Yeah. So, and to that point, Lauren and I, we lived in Omaha, Nebraska, as you know, for a couple years. And one thing we silently talked about with each other was like, we're never going to go back to Ocala. We'll go back for holidays and see family, but we probably won't go back. And then once we experienced, for us, having our first child in Omaha away from family, 20-hour drive away.
Oh, yeah, man, that's brutal.
It's brutal. And then when we got pregnant with Cole, our second, who is now 3, that's when my wife, who was the one that was most really against coming back, was like, I think we should do it. And we are so glad that we have.
Oh, yeah, man.
Because it's perfect. When we talk about raising a family in the Central Florida area, Ocala, Lady Lake area, man, it is awesome and been so nice. And
oh, yeah.
You're an hour and a half from the beach. You're an hour and a half from Disney.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
You forget how convenient it is when you grew up here, and then you lose all that when you move to the land of the cornfields.
Oh, completely.
And now we're back. So,
well, and what's funny for us too is you think about like Florida, especially the area we all live in, it's a lot of transplants. So sometimes in places we've lived before, it's like we never grew up there, so we didn't have deep roots there. Well, in Florida, no one has deep roots really, which is crazy to think of because the state's huge. Yes. But we love that about our areas. We got people moving in all the time. So we don't feel like we're the outsiders looking in usually. Right. We just all feel like outsiders trying to figure out our niche, which is awesome.
100%. And there's a reason Florida is like the fastest growing state, and so many cities are the fastest growing cities in the whole country. So yeah, there's a lot here, a lot of people moving here, a lot of exciting things happening. And I want to talk to Drew about, you didn't just move here yourself. Your family moved here.
No, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about your family and the dynamic there and you guys.
So my wife, Megan, and I have been married 12 years now, which, start doing the math, I was only in ministry for 4 years before we met. Right. So she came into a pastor on staff, navigating that whole intricate thing, which, when you're on a church staff, you're always navigating. People see you, and sometimes they think they know you because they see you. And when they know you, they also know your family, right? And so one of the things that's fun at a campus is that actually feels and is like that. Yeah. But when I was in student ministry before all of that, we just used to laugh because it's like Megan would say, who is that person? And I'm like, I'd have to tell them the name, and she'd have to do the same thing for me. Yeah. And so we've been in this now together 12 years, which has been awesome. She's our kids ministry director right now at our Lady Lake campus,
she is,
which we didn't see that coming. Like we came here just excited about the opportunity at the Springs. We had no idea that Megan would have an opportunity to lead the way that she did. And she is not only doing an amazing job, her team is as well.
Yeah.
But that's like one of those blessings you think about it where we didn't know. We just said yes to come into the opportunity. Who knew that God had that waiting for her? And it's something she always wanted to be a part of. And then we have our daughter, Olivia, who's 8.
Yeah.
And 8 is like one of the best seasons. Like I feel like if you're a parent, you say that about a lot of seasons, but you leave a season and you get into another season and you don't realize how sweet that is. And so she's in this season now where she's riding bikes and we can stay out a little later and go to a night at Disney or whatever. And we can do things that we used to not be able to. And there's just this sweet spirit about that little girl. She doesn't know a stranger, which is good and bad. But she loves Jesus and she loves the local church. And I think that's one of the coolest things is that we've gotten to see just her thrive in Florida. And you know this when you move. You never know how your kids are going to navigate it.
Yeah.
And we left a lot of spiritual family to come to what we weren't sure would be. And man, we got like a double portion, man. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
I know it's been so cool.
That is awesome. And you guys have been a blessing to the Springs and just your, the short time you guys have been here because like you said, not only you stepping in, but Megan stepping in.
Oh yeah, man.
And then Olivia, I'm sure she has no choice but to step in.
Oh my gosh.
And I know that life, but
Pastor's
I know
kids.
that you can find a lot of joy there too, even as a kid, being able to do that.
You know this because you're in the same boat, but I mean, my dad was a pastor, so I'm a pastor's kid, so are you.
Yeah.
And you kind of go one of two ways when you're a pastor's kid, right? You're either all in the local church or you are all out. And I think it's one of the neatest things watching my daughter lead worship in our kids' ministry. And there are families that are like, your daughter's Olivia? And I'm like, and then they tell me some story about how like just she's kind and she cares about people. And I'm like,
that is the best.
That is awesome.
That is awesome to hear how you, and encouraging.
Yep.
How your kid is not only present, but making an impact.
That's exactly right.
And that's all that we can pray for as parents.
That's exactly right.
Is that they make an impact. Well, talking about those people at Lady Lake, what is it about them that you have learned? Like, what's something about them that you've learned in your time at the Springs so far?
Yeah, every campus, we talk about this because multi-campus church, one church, multiple locations, one house, many rooms kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Each room is a little different. Just like in your house, every room has its different purpose, a little different function. The kitchen's where all the meals happen. All right, the bathrooms is where all the cleaning and all that. But like you start to like do the array of your house, every room is a little different, right? Every campus is a little different. And one of the things that I love, Lady Lake, it's the thing that made us want to come, but now it's just kind of even sweeter. Is there is this weird spirit, and it's because of the Springs, but it's real hard to be a stranger at Lady Lake. Part of that is because we have one door in and out. That's helpful.
Yes.
All right, in the future, that won't be the case.
Right.
But because that's part of our DNA, it's really, really hard to be there for a long period and not be seen and noticed. And that's sweet for us as a family. It's also sweet to know that we're going after and we see people who really, like, you could go to a campus and if you can really try to not be seen, you'll make it 3 weeks.
Right.
And if that's the culture of our church, which is awesome, you're going to only go 3 weeks. That's the max you're going to go before somebody sees you.
Yep.
That's a really, really great thing if you're looking for a place to be a part of. Now, if you're trying to hide, you're going to hate that dynamic. You're going to be like, man, why do these people keep talking to me?
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite stories is one of my friends at the campus. That was one of the things he said. He's like, man, why are all these people always talking to me? and I think that's one of the best things that I love about our Lady Lake campus. I'm so proud of this spirit is that if people say that about us, man, they're always talking to me. Yeah. Man, we got to be doing something right if that's something people say all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, either if people know you and know that you go to a church, it's either like that where it's one door in, one door out, or you have Thomas Pesto on staff who can tell you everybody's names and faces at the Ocala campus.
Thank God for people like that, man.
Yes.
For sure.
But yes, that I do love that, and I love that is part of like our DNA at the Springs, and that's something that you guys and you and Megan have also worked to transform as well and really magnify that element of it where like we want to make sure that you're seen, that you're heard, and that you feel like you have somewhere to go when you need it.
That's right, man. People feeling like they have a place. There's this book called The Power of Place, and it's such a big deal. The place may change, right? Like that shifts all the time. But our hope is that however long you're a part of this place, meaning the Springs, we hope that you say things like, it's the best season you've ever had in church.
Yep.
God did the most in your life at this time than he's ever done. Like, that's kind of, if we were to say as a church, like, what do we hope? We hope people feel the impact and what God's doing at our church, but he's doing through our church. And man, for the world, for anybody listening, et cetera, we would just hope this is your life better because of the Springs? That, man, that is exactly why we serve in the local church. That's why we serve.
Yeah. And you talk about God moving through people's lives, and you just hope that people, and our prayer is that people can feel that through attending the Lady Lake campus, the Ocala campus, Middleton, and the Springs as a whole. But God is moving in a way at Lady Lake right now.
Sure.
That maybe hasn't been felt because of the direction and the vision that we've got for Lady Lake. So I want to kind of set the stage, Drew, for you to let our listeners know who might not know, and you guys, you've been in the thick of it at Lady Lake, going through that with the people there. But just tell us a little bit about what's happening and the opportunities, the doors that God's opening for you guys.
Yeah, you know what? When you talk about like the doors God opens, you never know quite why, and you never quite have all the details on the front end, right? So like our campus started growing, we started having limitations. If anybody listening doesn't know this, we are in an ex-bingo hall that turned church. Our kids ministry is in a house of a family of 5. And somehow we turned it into a kids ministry that has 75 in a weekend.
Right.
So like you got limitations now. Like what used to be 25, 30 kids in a house is now something completely different.
Yep.
But I mean, we start to talk about how things are used for. Like that house was a hair salon, turned house.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? And then you got a bingo. So you just think about it. Was that the plan all along? That was the opportunity. So we stepped into that 13 years ago, right?
Yep.
On this end, it's the coolest thing, and it's also created one of the opportunities we have is that's now created limitations. So where we have no seats at 10 o'clock hours. I tell the 11:30 group, we have 3 services for anybody that doesn't know at our Lady Lake campus. I tell them all the time, the 11:30 is my favorite group. And that's because those are all the people who make room by going to the 11:30, so that way all the other people at the other hours have a seat. And that's a thing. I mean, for the first time, we run out of parking spots. You know what I mean? Like what are you going to do when you have no parking? We have some really awesome people that park in locations that it was not meant for parking. And so because of all of those things, and God's just been so gracious to Lady Lake, but the Springs as a whole, we had an awesome opportunity over the last year to step into an agreement with the villages over their old print plant, which was it was the Village Sun.
Yep.
And so, man, what was so cool about that is it's a similar part of our story, God calling us and giving us an opportunity that we didn't even see coming. Like, the reality is we're going to make a church in a print plant. It's the same thing as saying we're going to make a bingo hall a church. And that's such a cool part of our history. But the footprint of it, and we got a chance to recently go in and worship for the first time in that experience with hundreds of people and really cast vision and see what it's going to look like. And, man, you can really see the things that God's working behind the scenes on starting to come to fruition. And we didn't know how that would look. We just obediently followed the next step forward. But on this end, you're like, wow, in the next year, we're not going to be at our current location. We're going to be at what used to be the old print plant. And we're going to do church, not just church in there. The gospel will be the very center of a place that used to be all about paper and ink, man. Like, it's the wildest story and wildest of opportunities, because at what point does that just fall in your lap the way it did? And we would say it doesn't. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And all you would say is, man, praise God, man. I don't know, but praise God.
Yeah, man. And to compare a little bit about kind of to further explain, why would we take a jump like this to another building? There has to be improvements and reasons why, and there absolutely is.
Sure.
Do you know, not to put you on the spot, but do you know like square footage of anything? Not necessarily, I have print plant numbers here, but for your current facility where you guys meet there in Lady Lake.
I think our current facility isn't more than about 11,000 square feet, maybe 12 max.
Yeah.
Where we're going is 30,000 plus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bonkers when you're talking about almost tripling your square footage of a house for our future kids ministry space.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about that. Like, you make infants to 5-year-olds work in a house that's meant for like 5 people.
Right.
And you have 25 people in there almost every hour. Like, that is just crazy.
Yeah.
And man, it's because of just our staff team. It's because of those who've gone before us that we've been able to lead in the way we are. But man, you think about the future at the print plant, it solves decades for our campus.
Yeah.
But right now, our current facility, I mean, it might not even solve the next year.
Right. And what the way that my dad, I believe, has put it during some of the dinners that we put together and have done and telling people about everything that's going on, he said at this point, the scenario you're in at Lady Lake is you have the shoe telling the foot how big it can grow.
Great, 100% good alliteration.
And that you're getting to the point where people come through the door and you get to a number of people that are there and it's incredible.
Yep.
And then you go back down because they look around, they're like, is there even room for me here?
That's right.
And so now at the print plant, I believe it's a 500-seat auditorium. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah. So if you do the math, by the time you actually put real seats in the room and people in the room, you're going to get real close to that number.
Yeah, and which will be incredible. The auditorium being 4,000 square feet, the lobby itself being 3,500 square feet.
Oh, wait, just pause there.
Yeah.
The lobby will not be a sardine can for minimal.
Yes.
I mean, we talk about it all the time. Like, you can't fit certain things in the lobby because if you have more than 45 people in that lobby, it is slammed.
Yeah.
Like, we feel like our lobby is actually our outdoor patio / deck because, like, you don't have space in the lobby most of the time. It's bonkers, man.
What is your prayer, Drew, and your hope for the print plant? Like, what are you guys praying and hoping can happen because of this move from the current campus location to the new one?
Well, if anybody who's listening to this, if you don't know where the print plant is,
Yes.
it's right across from a school. All right, Lady Lake Elementary.
Yeah.
But it's in the very center of all life in that area and in that community. Where we are right now is kind of off the beaten path. And because of that, you'd have to like go a little out of the way to get by it, or you'd have to be passing it by coming a different direction. It's not one of those things that's in the center of everything. Yeah. This place is literally in the center of all the hustle and the bustle. It's 50 yards from the hustle. And so our biggest prayer is that this campus would just be able to be light in a dark place. I mean, we know that the world we live in is fractured at best. And the church, the local church, is meant to be a beacon for hope and grace and love and a place for all, but more than anything, a place that the gospel is the very center. And what I love is that's the footprint of our current campus. That's the footprint of our church. But what happens when you change the equation and now you're at the very center of all of life in that area? Man, I don't think I've even quite wrapped my head around how big of a deal that will be in the future because you're leading through all the things today for the future. We're going to get there one day, and all of us at Lady Lake are going to look back and be like, thank you, God, for all the things we just didn't see. Like, this is just a crazy thing that we're trusting you with.
And something that God has put on the Springs heart, it's always been a goal, but I feel like now it is moving to the forefront, and it's being talked about publicly. Like, our goal is absolutely to be reaching the next generation.
That's right, man.
And it honestly had kind of gone over my head until now that we're talking about it, even though I knew that the print plant was across the street from a school.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the ways God is positioning the Springs to make an impact through that. And like Lady Lake being across the street from Lady Lake Elementary, then you've got Middleton that's across the street from a charter school.
Yep.
And it's like God, and I mean, here at the Ocala campus, we're 5 minutes from Forest High School.
That's exactly right, man.
And God is just aligning us in a way that we've not had it before.
Sure.
In reaching those families that don't know Jesus, maybe gave up on Jesus a long time ago. And so going through this next season, that's what I'm most excited about.
Sure.
It's like, man, how many families are going to walk through the doors? How many kids are going to be impacted by that?
Exactly.
And then those kids are going to go on and raise families that are in the church solely because of
100%.
Where our buildings are located.
Yep.
That they walked through the doors and gave Jesus a shot. So really cool.
Do you know what people get excited about when they hear stuff like that? This is my favorite thing, is people love to see young families and young kids in church, but they forget that they have to take an ownership in that part. And so one of the things in it is we all get real pumped when we see kids get baptized and students and this the impact. And that's exactly how it should be. On the flip side, though, we forget that how we invest in them now will actually dictate if they're in the seats that we're sitting in and occupying in the future. So like how we invest, how we go after, how we chase, how we care, they will be families in the future sitting in those seats with their kids but only if we go after them in this season of their lives. And one of the things Pastor Ron says I really like, he says, whoever wants the next generation is going to go after them. And that's just true, is that they're going to be there. And it's going to be up to the church to decide, are we going to go after them? Or are we just going to let them pass by? And that will depend. Like, that'll really, really show the future church how we invest in them now, man. So I can't be more thrilled as an ex-student pastor when we say things like that.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and kind of, Drew, I want to move into what, more on a more personal note for you, what is God teaching you specifically in this season?
You know what? If you look in Scripture, you see all over the place that God takes a bunch of messy people and does really, really crazy things. And in this season, casting this really, really bold vision, this massive opportunity for just the future of our campus. It's a really, really amazing thing. But I always look at like the Israelites. I feel like that's me. If I was to say, who am I, like in a correlation to Scripture, I'm the Israelites. God does something awesome, and then you're on to the next thing, and sometimes you forget. And God does something awesome, and then you go on to the next thing, you forget. And there's this really, really good verse. I want to pull it out as we did it, but it's in Psalm. And it's basically, it's the Israelites saw God do all this kind of cool stuff. I mean, you got to think about it. They got brought out of Israel. They saw the Red Sea part. They're in the middle of it, watching all these crazy things happen. They get to the other side. God's protected them and provided for them. And this is the verse in Psalm 106 that the psalmist writes. He says about the Israelites, but they soon forgot what he had done, and they did not wait for his plan to unfold yet again. And man, I relate to that. What I'm learning in this season is that sometimes the next big thing makes us forget about all the other great things God's already done. And sometimes we have to look back and remember that if God did all those other great things, if God provided in the past, if God found a way for that bill, if God allowed your marriage to be healed, for the prodigal to come home, then who's to say that all the other things we're what-ifing and worrying about in the future, why can't God handle those things too? And I think I'm just looking at that saying, this is so big, and what God's doing, why wouldn't he handle it? He's handled up to this point. Like, we laugh because we're on staff, but like, he doesn't need us. He allows us to be a part of it. So like, what's my worrying really gonna, what's it really gonna do? Because, you know, they soon forgot. And I get it. The next big thing always makes people forget. But I think one of the things I'm holding on to is remembering all the things he's done, and then remembering that why can't he do all the things in the future? Yeah,
absolutely, man.
Can I ask you the same question?
Yeah.
I know you did it, so I want to flip back to you. What's God teaching you in this season?
It's funny because as I think about it, he's teaching me the same lesson in both parts of my life. And when I say both parts, I mean my home life.
Sure.
And my life here at work, right? And as much as you try to separate the two, God's ironically teaching me the same thing. And what he is teaching us, Lauren and I specifically, he's teaching us the importance of people. And by that I mean like our small group, which, dude,
you got a killer group, I've heard.
They're incredible, dude. They are incredible. They always step up, and maybe I'll share on the podcast eventually kind of some stuff that Lauren and I have walked through recently, but
sure,
they have dropped everything to be there. And on the flip side, really, so like the overarching thing is just how important they are, how important people are, have the people in your corner, making sure it's not just you and your household, because you can isolate. You can find spots like Lauren and I have our own me times at night sometimes during the week, right? When it's easy to get alone with your thoughts there. But then there's nights like tonight, Tuesday, you guys are listening to this probably Wednesday, Thursday, Friday-ish, but Tuesday nights we meet every week with our small group and we typically host.
Sure.
And it's a night of the week we can look forward to because those are our people. Those are the people that are our, midnight phone calls if we need something. They're the texts we send when we have a prayer request, right? Not just for us, but for people we love in our lives, because we know they're going to pray. That's so that's in our personal life, but it's ironic because in work life, I'm learning the same thing, right? And it really started for me with Build Week and at the movies and doing that, seeing 60, 70 plus volunteers come through the doors and being like, man, we could not do any of this without them. And then through that, we found out we have a lot of talented people that do carpentry work at the Springs. And now with Christmas being here, we're able to do stuff visually that we've never been able to do. And now we have those contacts and those people who didn't maybe know that there was a spot for them to serve and use their gifts.
Sure.
Aside from just being nice to people outside of church and whatever, right? And using their talents to maybe do stuff for people. But now I'm getting to see how important people are here at the church, because we are building out these volunteer teams like we never have before. And now I've got a few people coming in tomorrow to build this stuff for the Lady Lake campus, for here, and for Middleton. And it's just, God is just showing me the importance of his people and his church.
A local church always has great people. Like, I think that's just true. Every church in our area, and what I love is that, you know, when you get to heaven one day, no one's going to ask you what church you went to. All that's going to happen is, do you know Jesus or not? So inside of that perspective, we get to navigate these wonderful people all the time. And they're messy and they're broken, but God's doing awesome things in their life. What I always love, the backdrop, I see this at Lady Lake. Chris probably sees this at Middleton. We get to see it here at our Catholic campus. There's some just really talented people who are looking for places to use their giftings. Yeah. And places like, hey, I'm real good at building. I'm not. Like, my wife hangs things in our house. I'm that bad at it.
Lauren as well, yes.
100%. But, like, to see people find a place in a local church, like, I have a skill, and I just didn't know that was a place to serve. Like, who knew we had like, for better words, a carpentry tree, but that's not what it's called.
Right.
I mean, that's awesome, man. That's a real cool thing.
It's incredible. And it also goes to that principle, the same one you're talking about with the next generation, what you said, that my dad makes the point about, like, they're there, you just have to go find them and go after them. It's the same thing with using people's talents to serve God, right? Like, those people, why would they think there's a spot for them to use their woodworking abilities? They wouldn't come to us and be like, I have this skill if you ever need it, right? But because we built the plan to happen and what we needed, we realized, oh man, we could really use some people that do that. So let's do this. Let's do this build week thing and see how we can build in the future. And I can tell you, man, like, establishing what we established through build week for At the Movies this past year that we have never done before is only going to make the years to come so much better.
That's right, man.
And it'll be bigger, better. I mean, I've already thought and gotten a headache about the facilities that we're going to have and how we're going to have to organize based on what we've learned. How do we replicate this at Middleton, at Lady Lake, going as big as we go here? Who can we have lead this type of team?
That's right.
How do we do this and tap into the people? But now we have the blueprint, and I'm excited to see how God uses that experience for us to move forward and do things that will reach the one that doesn't come to church, that doesn't know Jesus, and get them through the doors. Not only get them through the doors, but wow them, because one of our core values is God is honored in excellence.
That's exactly right, man.
And that's all we want to do, right? Like, we want to be excellent because we want to be good stewards of what God's given us.
Correct.
And man, I am excited for the next season of Lady Lake, for you guys at the print plant. It's going to be a fun ride. It already is, but it will continue to be, and we're already seeing the fruits of what we've been trusting God with, and it's been incredible to see. So, Drew, once again, I appreciate you joining the podcast, and we'll have you on again sometime soon.
Oh, man, anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, for y'all listening or watching, we will catch you guys next time. See ya.